Shut the fuck up, I'm ready. Let me stop. Oh, yeah. What up, y'all? God hand, probably not anytime soon. Oh, yeah. Not anytime soon. What up, y'all? It's your boy, A-Switch, a.k.a. the nut to your donut, a.k.a. the peanut to your butter, a.k.a. the snack to your fruit, or the fruit to your snack. Bringing you episode 20 of Switch's Sights live on Twitch. I'm on a roll. I'm very proud of myself for being consistent so far. I plan to keep that going. Okay. I plan to keep that going. All right. Now there's a promise. I'm gonna stick to it. Today's date, August 29th, 2019. And man, I'm about to rant today because I need to vent. I really need to vent about some news that just happened that broke my heart, and I am very upset about it. We'll get to that point in sometime down the road, but yeah, I'm just letting y'all know. This is going to be a very interesting episode. We have a lot of interesting news that I wasn't expecting that did come out in general. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, you damn right it did. You goddamn right it did. Boy, am I mad about that. We'll get to that. I am so upset about that, man. I am so upset about that. You don't know, like, if there's just somebody that's upset about that, it's me. Because I'm upset about it. I am upset about it. Do you hear me? I'm just perturbed by the whole ordeal. Okay, let me come back to earth, okay? Let me lost control of my screen. Can I just aspect? Yeah, that works. Right? I guess that's better. Damn it. That's fine. We'll work with it. We'll try to work with it at least. Yeah. Share my screen. So, probably I'd say, in my opinion, the biggest news that came out, well, I'm trying to go down the list in terms of priority in general, but probably the biggest news that came out this week is Project Resistance. So, it's by Jaw Monster on Reset Era. I guess there's apparently, I don't think it's a leak, somewhat of an announcement on Japanese Twitter for Biohazard, which is the what Resident Evil is called in Japan, Biohazard. And yeah, so it's this game called Project Resistance. It's not necessarily much known about it. I know in a couple episodes previous, they were doing some testing for the Resident Evil ambassadors. I'm believed to presumably be testing out this game before it comes out the Tokyo Game Show, which it's pretty certain that it's gonna premiere there. So then there was some screenshots, which let's take a gander. A thumbnail of a leaked video, or screenshots of or maybe these are just straight up screenshots, I don't know. But looks pretty interesting. I know somebody pointed out that one of the characters back there, or I think this guy in particular, his jacket is Raccoon City, or says something like Raccoon City or something. Yeah, because you see Raccoon and then City something, I think, on the back. So at least my initial reaction, you got 4 people, is that this would be a continuation of Outbreak, because Lord, I did the wrong one. Lord knows that I want me some damn Outbreak in my life. I'm pretty sure a lot of other people will like that as well. Cause if this is Outbreak, I'm totally for it. If this is Outbreak, oh my god. But a lot of people are debunking that. They're saying that it actually is going to be a 4v1 type deal, kind of like somewhat similar to Dead by Daylight. That's probably the closest reference I can gather. I guess kind of Left 4 Dead, the versus mode to some extent. So there's still kind of hope, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I was totally interested, and then I just heard 4v1. I don't know. That just does not seem to be on the right track of success, but they are apparently testing it. I tried to sign up for the ambassador program to try to get in or test it out, but I think you have to be somewhat established to do that. But we'll see. Maybe I get a chance to help test it out or something. I don't know. That will be great. And, just tell them, like, don't do this 4v1 stuff. Yeah, I heard a lot about 4v Tyrant. Why can't it just be a traditional Resident Evil Outbreak game? That's what we want. Come on, Capcom. Don't play with us like that. Just try it. It'll be great. Ugh. Man. I'm pretty disappointed about that. There's still somewhat glimmer of hope that it might actually be actual continuation of Outbreak, or File 3. Could be, maybe possibly a red herring. That would be a delightful surprise. I'm very cautiously optimistic. No, I'm okay. If it was spinoff, it'd be fine. But otherwise, I'm okay. I'm okay about that. No turn-based RE for me. Unless this is dedicated spinoff, which I guess is okay. But then at the same time, would have preferred, stuff where somewhere else, you know what I mean? Capcom, don't do this. Jeez, it feels like it's gonna be like Operation Raccoon City all over again. Umbrella Corps all over again. We'll see. I have hope for it though. Please, Capcom. Please be Resident Evil Outbreak, or some maybe spiritual successor, or some continuation or loose continuation, or just the same format as Resident Evil Outbreak. Please, Capcom, if you have any sense, do this. Please. I beg of you, Capcom. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't open that door. Don't make this horrible game. Turn-based DMC, that'd be pretty cool. I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that. Yeah, that's at least as far as we know till now, but we'll get more info at TGS, which is September 15th, 16th-ish. Check the calendar. Yeah, September 16th, that's on a Monday. So yeah, that seems and sounds pretty accurate. So please, Capcom, don't do this. I mean, do it, but do it the right way. As in not have 4v1, just 4v NPC. Please, Capcom. Don't do this. Okay. Moving on. Let me move, get my lighting back. Kind of in line with that. Capcom announced this weird, I guess the rough translation, it seems like, adult masterpiece. Capcom wait. Called Adult Masterpiece. That's such a very weird name. I don't think that's the accurate translation, but supposedly this is just going to be like a pretty big showcase for some rumored or likely ports to the Switch. So I believe this is specifically catered to the Switch. So obviously, let me show a little bit of it. This is kind of what we're looking at. So yeah, on September 15th, special stage detail announcement. Wait, major Capcom Serious Studio interview. Ooh, maybe it could be RE3. I don't know. It sounds. You know, they updated it after the fact. So yeah, so a lot of people are suspecting that it's gonna be Nintendo Switch ports, because that's obviously what they're indicating here on the tweet by Minute Bell, retweeting for Capcom Japan. Yeah, so Dead Rising 2, Devil May Cry, just throw that away. We don't want that. Devil May Cry 3, Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, and DMC, throw that away too. I don't want that trash out of here. So yeah, probably the most personally what I'd want, definitely Dead Rising 1 for sure, for certain. Sure, you could put Dead Rising 2 in there. I definitely, just Dead Rising 1 still just has a special place in my heart. It'd probably be close to the 360 version or something like that, which is fine, because man, they were able to push a lot of monsters in that damn mall. Definitely Devil May Cry 3 for sure. That's mandatory. Still kind of dumb that they split it up into like 3 separate games when there's been collections on other various collections, or I mean other PS4, Xbox One, and even PS3 and PS3 360. It's just dumb. It's just stupid. Devil May Cry 4, I'm be curious to see how much they could because you kind of getting into the demanded territory with this one, I think, or feel. Excuse me. And yeah, just throw this away. Nobody want that either. Just their whole attitude with making this one. I just am so turned off by ever playing that again. I just want to pretend that never existed. So, interesting news. I for sure, definitely, yeah, I really want Dead Rising. Being able to play that on the go. Oh, that'd be so great. Especially Devil May Cry 3 too. Yes. Those are definitely the main ones I want, but we shall see come September 15th. And yeah, so okay, so let's get into this heat right now. We gonna get into this heat right now, because boy, do I got to vent right now. This actually messed up my whole day. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, because boy, I was just so bothered and disturbed and just annoyed by this whole news thing. So early in the morning, I was checking the era, and then I know they said that they were gonna do a show, or Ryuga Gotoku, the makers of the Yakuza series. They said they're gonna have a showing earlier today, or something like that. Or I forgot in terms of time zones. Maybe that's technically yesterday or something like that, or yesterday night. So they did show that, and then they showed and confirmed pretty much a lot of stuff that we already knew with Yakuza 7. Or no, I think it was called Yakuza Ishin or something like that. But then I guess now they changed it to Yakuza 7. So then, it has pretty much all the people that we were familiar with that was revealed beforehand. And it's like now it's just so yeah, so like now let's go to this one in particular. So yeah, so they had an announcement today. I guess they announced some weird details about the character Ichiban Kasuga, and that he loves Dragon Quest. That was just very weird, just to say he loves games, even though Kiryu technically loves games because he was playing. You could play the arcades and stuff, or maybe I guess he didn't really love games, even though he was like Pocket Racer King. And either way, he said the game will be watershed for Yakuza Fran. That is weird. So yeah, the main title is gonna be Ryuga Gotoku Hikari Toyami no Yuke. I guess that translates roughly to the locations of something of light and darkness. I think they translated it a bit more. And then I think oh darn it. They must have taken it down. Damn it. They showed a brief clip of somebody getting showing the brief gameplay. And when they first showed it, it seemed like it was like, oh, okay, it's just a mini game. A mini game that had turn-based in my head initially, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. A turn-based like mini game similar to clan battle and stuff from Yakuza 6 and Kiwami 2. So I'm like, cool, okay, all right, cool. I'd be down for that. And then after a while, I started looking, and like I was like, initially, I was like, man, this is pretty cool. I'm very impressed. I like the character Ichiban Kasuga. He seemed like he's a pretty good blend of. He has the essence of Kiryu, but at the same time, he feels different enough, to be his own new character that looks, at least initially, appealing. I guess apparently can cut his hair off, because they showed, I think, a clip. They showed pics that had his hair cut or something like that. I'm not sure if I could find it. Yeah. So here, if we can go to the tweet. So it'll show that I guess I'm assuming that's maybe a choice you can make in the game, that you can cut his hair. It's kind of cool. So yeah, they were showing this, which is basically, to me, it just all automatically just led to the conclusion like, oh, okay, this is just like a, intense mini game. Like an intense mini game, like a clan battle or clan creator, whatever you call it. And then. And then so I'm looking, I'm like, yeah, this is great. Okay. I'm down for this. And then after that, I start sifting through the thread, and then I find out that this is gonna be the gameplay. So it's gonna be strictly turn based. So the combat that you know and love from what 12, 10, 12 previous Yakuza games, which is the beat 'em up combat that I personally love, is now gone. So they're not even going to do that anymore. This, or at least the terminology they said is that, I think Judgment did pretty well. From a sales standpoint, they said it did pretty well, better than they expected. So I don't think Judgment technically is the blame for it. It's hard to say why they made this drastic change, but yeah, man. So they changed. They basically they didn't really. I don't think they provide an explanation of why they changed it, but. I don't really agree with that either. I think, deviating the combat, no, because it's like you're drastically changing you're making it a whole different genre. That doesn't make sense to me. That obviously people aren't that's been used to the series up until now, which is what 10, 12 games, for them to now, and on top of that, mind you, this is supposedly a mainline game. So this is supposed to be Yakuza 7, a RPG now. So obviously that's gonna upset a lot of people, me and myself included, because it's like you cannot do that. You just can't do that, especially how they communicated it too. It's like we barely got any gameplay. We are only going by screenshots at this point. I mean, they're gonna show more at TGS, but still, my initial reaction is very disappointed and displeased and very upset about this whole thing. Because clearly, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Yakuza games, played every single one. I am a huge fan of the beat 'em ups. There's not many beat 'em ups anymore, still to this day. You got a little bit of Trinkling here, Streets of Rage 4, and is there another beat 'em up? What's the one? Retro City Girls, Rampage Girls, or something like that. But other than that, very few and far between in terms of the beat 'em up genre. And this is definitely and that's what I liked about Yakuza, because I am a big fan of beat 'em ups. I always wanted them to come back. This kind of satiated that lust for beat 'em ups, but at the same time, it had that great blend of beat 'em up action and progression, while at the same time having a great story, funny stories, very engaging side stories and stuff like that makes you overall enthralled in the general universe that is well, I guess the Yakuza universe. I don't know the terminology for it, but man, it was so poorly just represented. They could have done a lot of things way better. My first issue is that, one, this should have been a definite spinoff. That is the biggest thing, because if you make this such a drastic change in gameplay and consider this to be a mainline game in the series, which off the bat insinuates that this is going to be the genre going forward, that's obviously going to upset a lot of people. They definitely could have communicated that way better at the very least. But just to make this a mainline game, and then on top of that, they I believe in interviews and stuff, they were using a lot of weird terminology that this is going to be experimental, and it's like, if it's experimental, why in the would you freaking, if it's experimental, why in the would you freaking why would you make it a mainline game if it's experimental and people may not want this? And I'm not sure what the reception is in terms of I know a fair amount of people well, I guess in general it's hard to gauge. It's some people that actually like this and like, oh, I'm not even into Yakuza, but now it's turn-based, I'm invested or whatever. But it's like, how many turn-based games do we have compared to beat 'em ups? I mean, I could count probably on one hand how many beat 'em ups that are current that have recently released this year. And it's just I guess I'm very upset by the potential, not theme, but like tone this may set for the series going forward. Because on top of that, I believe Nagoshi, in an interview post of this news coming out, said something like this would be, what did he say? He said that, yeah, if this doesn't work out, then yeah, we'll go back to our traditional fighting game or, beat 'em up genre. But then it's like, on top of that, just using that terminology in general, it's like you're insinuating that it's gonna be, if it is successful, well, we're never gonna go back to beat 'em ups again. And that just crushed my soul. Just thinking about the potential of that is just wrecks me. Because, man, this is one of the very few beat 'em ups, and I love me some damn beat 'em ups. I really hope they at some point make a resurgence. And, for this to not, for yet another game that was of a great genre that I thoroughly enjoyed, not be totally change a genre for, mind you, a mainline series. They say this is Yakuza 7, not Yakuza turn-based or not Yakuza Ishin or whatever they were calling it before. This is supposedly be Yakuza 7, which is, man, this is just the dumbest. Let me be respectful, but this is just very poor choice in my opinion. I don't think they should go this route. If anything, I would have been more fine with this if this was a dedicated spin-off and not a mainline series game. And if it's experimental, why would you not make it a spin-off? I don't get that. That is just weirdest choice in my opinion. Just a poor choice overall. I'm not very satisfied with it personally. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like turn-based games, but I don't think this game should be a turn-based game. It does not make sense for this to be a turn-based at all. It's a beat 'em up, man. It's why would you make this turn-based? It doesn't need to be. We'll see how it receives, but I mean, it's like in Japan, because obviously Japan is gonna definitely determine what direction this series is gonna go in. But I fear that Japan is gonna eat this up, and then this is gonna be the game genre going forward for any new Yakuza games going forward after this one. And then on top of that, they're gonna have the template already for like pretty much all the characters and the engine and the assets and everything. And yeah, man, this is, I do not like the kind of what this implies overall. That I get maybe from a creative standpoint that, I mean, yeah, they've been dropping these games every year consistently, like Call of Duty and like Assassin's Creed before it started taking longer breaks or whatever. But if that's the case, then why don't why don't they do the same thing? Like, take a break, take more time to make these, and think about them. But because I in general think there's still a lot of stuff that you can be creative about and create, freshen things up and add for this, to make the combat still interesting and engaging and not just the same thing. Especially with a whole new character, obviously he's gonna have a drastically different move set from Kiryu, and obviously in Judgment, Yagami, he had a totally different move set. So I mean, as long as you have a different move set, have a pretty engaging combat system. I'm personally a fan of the styles. I liked how in Judgment they did add that, they somewhat kind of did a blend of um Yakuza 0 and Kwame, and like 6 and Kwame 2, where they kind of did a pretty reasonable blend of both, where you have the two styles and then you can like switch between them like mid combos and stuff. And then like I really wished it had more juggling aspects or mechanics, which maybe I guess I possibly may have not uncovered, but it seemed like the character specifically, for Yagami, he didn't have that flexibility, which I personally would have liked more. But that in of itself, I think, is just even more potential for them to kind of explore and kind of get really creative on. I still think in general it's just a lot of stuff you can still do with the beat 'em up genre that I think they have yet to kind of uncover. But just making it turn based is just, it's so weird, man. It's just like, I want to control him and fight people. Why I get the kind of the RPG aspects where meeting up people, meeting with people and doing side quests and stuff like that. But that's kind of, I like that blend where you can fight people and then kind of do similar RPG-esque like quests and side quests, helping people out and stuff like that. I just felt like that's what makes Yakuza, and just not having that anymore is just very disheartening, very disappointing, and just makes me sad and immensely disappointed overall. So and then luckily they had some sense and made, what did they make? Or no, they announced that of course, in the West it's not going to be called Yakuza 7, it's going to be called Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is basically the translation of it in Japan anyway. They're very good at doing that, because otherwise they would have totally like up any freaking what they had good going out here in the West with the series now starting to pick up some traction. And man, this game I feel like would have completely obliterated and just stopped this in its tracks instantly. So good on them for obviously they was like, what, I'm pretty sure they had that decision, like, we got to make this a spin-off in the West because people are not going to respond well to it, which is guess because personally I would have. And I was talking in the thread before too, is that if they were like, let's say I'm some regular Joe that just loves the Yakuza games. I don't really I'm not like immensely involved or interested in the fact that like I'll keep looking up info on it, or keeping up to date on info of the game as it progresses, in terms of its eventual release later in the year for us in the US. But let's say I was that guy. I don't really, follow news, gaming news and stuff like that. And, one day I look on the shelf and I see Yakuza 7. And then I pick it up like, oh yeah, I love Yakuza. Let me play this. Not knowing anything or any of these details. So I will pick that up and then I play the game. and then I realized this is freaking turn based. From all of the established beat 'em up games in the past, 10, 12 games in the past, I would be livid. And then I probably would just put the damn game down and never play it again. I'm just speaking of a person that who probably doesn't like a turn-based game. Maybe that's obviously why they're playing this, because it's beat 'em up and action based. So why would they? And just making it a mainline game and making it turn-based, considering they say it's experimental, why would you do that? I could go on and on about this personally, but we'll see. Maybe they might. Also, I forgot to mention, in terms of the aspect of it, they did receive a lot of negative feedback, obviously, because of because this is a huge drastic change, making it a totally different, complete, pretty much unrelated genre. So I guess maybe the closest reference could be Resident Evil, like Resident Evil 4. But I mean, in like argument with Resident Evil 4, you could basically it was somewhat close in terms of genre. You were still shooting actively. You still like had tank controls. It probably, sure, it wasn't as scary, but you still had a fair amount of remaining mechanics and aspects that were similar to Resident Evil, at least. This is a drastic change. You're going from actively playing a character to not actively playing a character and controlling multiple characters on a turn-based status, which is just, especially for a game of this stature, that is just, it's personally not a good idea. I don't think it's gonna in the West, at least, I don't think it's gonna do well, because people aren't really familiar with this the game in general. Because a lot of people are somewhat starting to catch on to the series, and then now as the game was picking up steam, you got the Yakuza remaster collection that I talked about last episode, and now they are 3, 4, and 5. So now you can play the whole complete Yakuza collection on the PS4. And then pretty much after you're done with 6, then you got Yakuza Like a Dragon, and it's like, I don't want to play it. I don't like turn-based games. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people out there that like beat 'em ups and don't like turn-based games. Luckily for me, I do enjoy turn-based RPGs, so I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna be very disappointed as I'm playing it. It might get to the point where I just can't even do it, but we'll see. I'm keeping an open mind. I am I want to say I'm cautiously pessimistic, but I'm very cautiously cautiously optimistic, but cautiously pessimistic, right? No, that's negative. You can't be cautiously negative. Well, actually, you know what? Actually, I am. I'm very cautiously pessimistic regarding this, because I'm very curious. Like, okay, what makes this game? It's got to be some reason you guys decided to go turn based. So I'm very curious to see what that was. We'll definitely have to find out. But in general, yeah, I initially is not looking good for this. We'll see how it does. Pretty sure it's going to do great in Japan, which is just going to be unfortunate, because it's probably just going to encourage them to, keep making this genre more. And we may never even see a Yakuza be a beat 'em up again, which is just sad, because is of all of the beat 'em ups, or, of the very scarce beat 'em ups, this was one of the greats, and now it's going to be technically gone, which is just, it is It is very disappointing, man. It is immensely disappointing, you know. It really is. So, on top of this, in terms of the negative reception, they did acknowledge it. So in a statement, this is roughly translated at least. So about the thank you for your valuable feedback. I also feel your concern in the comments. Thank you very much. We have received a lot of harsh comments about this announcement, but I am grateful that you love the old Dragon series. Following this change in the system is a very big challenge as a new Dragon. I was prepared to have fans who didn't want to. However, I do not intend to make boring work. I think that it is up to us to do our best to make this work a work that everyone loves. Following, if you don't get interested, if you feel boring to touch, that's our lack of strength. I'm not saying you're going to give up and cheer for me. However, I hope you will follow the information ahead. The whole team will do their best to make the work enjoyable for everyone. So roughly, obviously it's pretty broken in terms of some of that translation, but at least the impression I get is that, hey, guys, we've heard you. We're going to do better. Please just trust us in making this game enjoyable and very interesting, considering the drastic change in the genre. Thank you. That's roughly what I got. So I mean, they at least are aware that this wasn't conveyed in the best manner. So I mean, that's all we can hope for. And then you got the somewhat very conditional term or somewhat promise that they will possibly, or they will go back if it's not received well. But just make this a spinoff? Why can you not do that? Why could you not do that? That is just the weirdest choice ever. I mean, technically it'll be a spinoff in the West, but still, clearly we all know that it's going to be 7. We'll see, man. We'll see. Tokyo Game Show. This better be the best damn turn-based RPG I see. Cause just to drastically change this, they must have some apparent reason for it. So we'll see. Okay, all right, that's enough ranting about Yakuza 7. I am very just upset about that. I really am. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Immensely upset about that. But at the same time, I said I will give it a chance. So don't get it twisted. I'll still give it a chance, but it is just disappointing, man. I'm so damn upset. I really am. Really am. Other news. The Last of Us Part 2 was apparently shown at this GameStop manager show. There was some screenshots and stuff, but I think they obviously got taken down. Yeah. I get that. I'm very curious. I mean, in terms of the release date, I think a lot of people are suspecting like February, March. I don't know. March is gonna be pretty packed next year. January, February, March, I could see. Maybe their previous release date, like in June. I think that's technically when the first one released for the PS3. It's just weird that of all people, a GameStop managers conference and not even like what you call it, even influencers or like how they have those immense influencer powwows and events or something like that for like gamers or stuff like that. Very weird choice, but I guess I'm assuming they probably had some form of NDAs and stuff where they can't really reveal it. But this at least somewhat indicates how far they're in the development process of the game. So it must be somewhat near close done to some extent. So that's at least good to know. good to you know, have confirmed to some extent. But yeah, I guess that's just wanted to touch on that because that is it's kind of great, you know. It's a little great. I really want it to be released sometime soon though. Oh yeah, so apparently there was a Nintendo Switch case for Overwatch that was leaked. I mean, of all people, so I guess apparently on Amazon there was a listing for this Overwatch case that was leaked. Clearly, you know, it's been kind of desired and hinted at that, you know, Overwatch will possibly come to Nintendo Switch. This pretty much all but confirms that this is more than likely happening. And then, of course, the company that made this is PowerA.com, and they've been known to have a lot of very you know, established products, especially licensed ones that you know, are officially licensed by like console makers as well as like games and stuff like that. So I mean, pretty hard. And then on top of that, they say it's officially licensed by Nintendo and Blizzard Entertainment. I mean, pretty certain at some point we're definitely going to get Overwatch on the Switch. Very curious to see how it'll play, but you damn right I would get it just to have the novelty. Whenever somebody want to get their ass whooped, you know, gotta stay ready. But yeah. And then yeah, after it was posted shortly, the Amazon listing page was immediately taken down. So somebody who's in charge of the Amazon servers or release servers definitely got fired. You're fired. Cue the Vince McMahon mini clip. You're fired. That's my Vince McMahon impression. I know it's great. You don't have to tell me. Other news, Gears 5, you know, is so close. We got some additional details in terms of its launch, in particular, the maps that are going to be released at launch. I still have yet to watch it, so I'm actually going to watch it
Gears
right
5
now.
features a diverse lineup of multiplayer maps, each with their own distinct style of gameplay.
I believe they said they're trying to
maps, we're also launching with 4 Hive style maps for escape mode.
Oh, okay.
In total, there are 11 maps at launch.
11
with
maps.
More coming post-launch.
Okay. This
Asylum features a dynamic train
looks very similar to Mausoleum.
Defining 3 strong lanes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The nighttime battlefield is both beautiful and unnerving.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this looks a lot like Mausoleum. I guess that statue is coming off.
The largest arena-style map in Gears 5 is set in an old Pendulum Wars base.
Oh yeah. Give me all this. Give me
Fight
it all.
hard atop the battlements and use them to help control the old munition loading conveyor below.
Give me every morsel.
A street fight
This trick, yeah, that was in the
new cog settlement.
multiplayer test.
Intense duels in front of the cinema. The juice bar and visitor center.
Got that juice.
Oh,
that juice! I like the ongoing joke. I really do. Oh man, look at all that juice.
Asymmetric map in Gears 5, set in the winding halls of a new cog museum. The top lane's prized exhibits are protected by pressure trigger lasers. Keep a close eye on their formation and pay the price.
Okay, they got the environmental hazards. They brought them back. I appreciate that.
An outsider trading post built on the shores.
Well, if I'm on the other end, I won't appreciate it as much.
Destroying the ice exposes freezing waters that will slow, damage, and kill anyone who
dares venture into them. Oh yeah, I'm loving all these environmental hazards. They are great.
The DB Industries
Training grounds, of
is
course, that was in the
robot army. The raised
alpha.
Platforms and tower offer strong sightlines and perfect rifle positions amidst the winding cover.
Oh yeah.
A dilapidated Vasgari hosts another asymmetric battle.
Looks kind of like Deep Down, at least the layout.
Two strong defensive positions on either side. Fight your way through the flanks, or risk
Okay.
the reward of the sand glass center.
Okay.
An epic escape from the depths of a swarm hive, first featured at E3 2019.
So I guess it's a dedicated map to the hive, and
A
you can't play on
three-act
multiplayer.
hive, players must fight their way down to the caves and then back up again.
Yeah, I doubt this is multiplayer. You can play this
The first hive to
multiplayer.
feature a choice. Which path will you choose to set the fastest time? Fight your way to the branch and choose your
Okay.
fate. To survive this intense one-act hive, players must overcome 3 epic fights with the venom at their back.
Okay.
At launch, Gears 5 will have 11 maps.
11
7
maps at
arena
launch.
style and 4 hive style, as well as over 50 tiles for you to use in Map Builder. In the future, Map Builder will allow the creation of your own versus and horde maps to share with the world.
Nice. So you can create your own
Post-launch,
maps
brand new
now,
maps and
finally.
tiles will be introduced free as a part of the seasonal
I could see them kind of doing the Halo, like, you
Your
know,
journey across Gears Battlegrounds
the highly,
has only just begun.
highly received, like created maps will probably, you know, get a chance to be in the playlist. That's pretty great. I'm surprised they haven't done that already. Interesting. So, yeah. Kind of disappointed they don't have like some of the tried and true maps, like, you know, Mansion, Canals. Those are the ones I definitely wanted for sure. Like Fuel Depot, Clock Tower. But I hear they're trying to make this, you know, their own original maps in general. Which, you know, I'm pretty sure they're trying to separate themselves from the previous Gears games, which is okay. I mean, I'll definitely obviously give them a chance, and then, you know, maybe the maps that come out later will be actual, you know, previous games, which I'd totally be down for. I definitely would want that. We'll see. I really do. I'm definitely looking forward to it for sure. So we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, man. Very, very hyped for Gears 5. Curious what the campaign is gonna be like. Let's see the characters real quick. Oh, they do have character details. That's one thing I am curious about. They clearly have to put in pretty much all of the previous characters. I don't know if they're gonna try to be drastic and like omit all the, you know, classic Gear characters or something like that. Let's see. I want to see the characters explained. Oh, I guess they're talking about the I forgot what you call it. Not arcade, but is it Horde, for Horde specifically? Yeah, you got the DLC characters. All future characters, both COG and Swarm, will be earned either through gameplay and can also be purchased directly, whatever you choose to do. Thank you. No more loot boxes, even though I was kind of addicted to those. I mean, I never really forked out money for them. I think maybe one pack in particular. I think the Run the Jewels pack that had like Killer Mike and the other dude, I forgot his name. That was probably the only exception I really made. But outside of that, I stayed pretty vigilant as to not giving any more money than I already provided to get the game. So, tour duty. So that kind of reminds me just general in-game challenges where you can earn extra currency for doing the challenges or whatever. Okay, releasing more characters post-launch. I'm hoping for Aaron Griffin to come back. In particular, that will make me personally happy. I don't see why not. Maybe hell, he might be in the story. We don't know. Not many details have been revealed for what the campaign is in general. So I mean, it could be anything at this point. everybody could be turned into spaghetti. Turn into spaghetti. You never know. You never know. I'm just saying. Cool. So, I thought that was pretty interesting. Get this horrible mess out my face. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to see it anymore. In other news, Telltale Games is being revived. Actually, they closed this post. Let me check. Check why they closed it. Why did they close it? It's weird. Even though the poster just wanted to close it, I guess that's weird. But yeah, apparently Telltale Games is going to be revived. So obviously, back when Telltale obviously ran into some financial issues and then ultimately screwed everybody in the company. So they basically ended up having to shut down after. But I know there was some kind of shed of light where Skybound actually picked up specifically the Walking Dead license and game and everything, and were able to still finish out the last episode. I think it was one episode left or two. I think it was 2 episodes left, and they were able to bring some people that are previously on the Telltale Games team back to finish those, and I think they did a pretty good job. I didn't notice any like drastic differences between the episodes that were, you know, the original Telltale and Skybound and stuff like that. So I was pretty satisfied with it overall. So basically, some IPs will be coming back, some won't, but they didn't necessarily confirm what is coming back and what isn't. So we'll check on the main article here, Polygon. I think there might have been some confirmed stuff. Okay. So for sure, The Wolf Among Us and Batman will have full rights. So obviously Walking Dead won't be coming back because that's now owned by Skybound, which has plan for game. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So there is gonna actually be more Walking Dead games. Maybe not like the traditional Telltale format, but yeah, I'd be totally down to continue with The Wolf Among Us, the next whatchamacallit season. Oh yeah, I heard about the Stranger Things game that was gonna be out, and then I guess that apparently got reverted back to Netflix. Even though I think Netflix was trying to do its own thing within the application where you can do kind of the same thing, which doesn't sound like that would be too hard to do, you know. Yeah, I don't see that being too hard or difficult, but who knows? Those actually honestly the ones that I, you know, played and really wanted anyway, so I don't necessarily care about the other IPs being left in the dust. But I know one particular aspect of this that was pretty like messed up in my opinion was that they actually offered, you know, some of the people, I think it's right here specifically, the new Telltale is headed up by James Adi and Brames Waddle. Oddly said that some workers from the original Telltale Games will be offered freelance roles with full-time positions possible in the future. So we'll dangle, you know, you could work probably, you know, with lesser pay with the hope that you might get a permanent position, but we don't know that yet. So you could take the chance if you want, but yeah, just letting you know in advance. You may have been able to work here before, but things might be a little different. Ugh, man, if that is not the shittiest freaking way to like, that just is like, I definitely wouldn't come back if that was the case, because that's just something so like cold about that, you know? I don't know. It's like you screwed these people of jobs, probably like insurance and everything, and then for them to come back, but we'll offer you a freelance role to come back. You may be able to be permanent, but we don't know that yet. That is yeah, I'm not really liking that. That's messed up. Totally understand why people previously with the company wouldn't come back, because man, that is just shitty. So I guess they're now owned by a company called LCG Entertainment. Will sell some of Telltale's back catalog and work on new games based on a few Telltale associated properties as well as new licenses. It is cool at least to have, know that Wolf Among Us and Batman will come back. But outside of that, I don't really. Everything else looks pretty bad in terms of just the old practice and I don't know, audacity to try to bring people back with freelance roles. That just sounds very crappy if you tell me. But I don't know. I'm just saying that's just what my impression of it is. Either way. Oh yeah, next to news. Apparently, for the game Control, I have it only a couple hours in, but apparently there was some controversy in terms of I guess they were doing a program with the game where they're pushing the game out early to some female streamers specifically, since presumably the main character is a woman, Jesse Faden. But apparently, as the internet is, didn't really like that much. So you got some people just talking reckless. You got this dude. I don't even like. Who are you, man? Like he with a black girl, but he's like he probably just have hate sex with her. Let's be let's be honest. Let's keep it real right now. Then yeah, man, it's just so of course, guys will obviously chip in and yeah, dude up there name is Damer, this dude. So this dude saying, as you could tell, I am pretty upset about this. I have been excited about this game since I heard about it. This is just unacceptable. Yeah, I guess, just letting some women, who can maybe identify more with, the female protagonist. And, on top of that, it's very rare. We do have a lot of female protagonists in video games. It's just not right, I guess, just wrong for, to actually get accurate representation, to play. And this was, I forgot, this was in celebration of Women's Equality Day. So that's just even more burning fuel to the fire that these dudes just sex discrimination apparently. Yeah, this is just discriminating in honor of a holiday for women to celebrate a game that represents a female, which is very few and far between. Yeah, man. Yeah, a little that's very very sexist. It really is. Let me talk this mess this dude's. Seriously? Heck, even my wife thinks this is discrimination against men. Why do men have to be beneath women for women to have equality? I really do love her. Thanks for saving me the cash I was going to spend on this. She would be mad at me for supporting this. Ugh. Horrible. Some people are just worse. Just horrible people. This definitely proves that. So yeah. I think that's how we'll leave that in particular. So yeah, I mean she got superpowers and all that, and because women are being favored for a freaking holiday and obviously a character they can identify with more than us in that particular regard. Oh, that's just wrong. That's horrible. Let me wash my hands off with that. In other news, and ongoing, Ninja is freaking huge news. That should be this the consistent report. Ninja is huge news. So apparently, Ninja signed a deal with Adidas. So he got that gear going. We gonna get some Adidas Ninja sneakers, Yeezy editions. Just you wait. They coming. Wait on it. Gonna probably get some Adidas Ninja headbands. What else? We probably let's speculate on all the various Adidas products Ninja will have. Probably get some Adidas hair dye. Probably, I can see that. Got his trademark Ninja Blue, or I guess in this case now he got the pink going in there. This was from The Verge in particular. How long is the video?
Time
okay,
is our most valuable currency.
Let's check.
Whether we measure mastery in beats, brushstrokes, or battle royale wins, there's a common thread. The work it takes to be ready for your moment is put in before that moment appears.
Oh, is it?
There's no coincidence, no mistakes, only preparation.
Oh, shoot.
The price of excellence is sacrifice. Before your craft pays you anything in return, you invested in it and decided your dreams were worth chasing. Partnering with Adidas is a chance to join a family that celebrates fellow creators at the top of their game. Those that choose to persevere through doubt, fear, and uncertainty to chase their dreams. To all the creators that have come before and to all those that will follow, it's time to clock in, punch that time card, and truly put the time in.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Okay, that's the message, huh? Put that time in. Put that time in. You got to. Jokes aside, I do like, obviously this is yet another step in terms of making gaming more streamlined, which is definitely pretty great, that it does at least somewhat set the tone that, gaming is much more respected now, that, people are like getting freaking clothing deals out of this is pretty cool. Obviously, probably only by somebody of his caliber will be able to get something like this. But I mean, in general, at least is a pretty great, humbling sign that, gaming in general is just being way more mainstream now. I think that's what's kind of surprising and interesting to me personally. But I'm just a man. I'm just a man. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then kind of touch on Destiny news. Apparently they released a lot of info. At least what I got from this article is that they are going free to play. So we'll check it out. So with Shadowkeep, they introduced that you get battle passes now. So they definitely could have used a different term, because that is like just straight ripping off of like Fortnite and Apex Legends, and kind of insinuates a weird thing. So I guess from seasons, you get like a particular set amount of items, like, gear, more than likely rare gear and stuff like that. But I guess the biggest thing I picked up is that it's technically free to play at some point. I'm not sure when. I'm trying to sift through all the information. Seasonal XP progression. What is this? Add-in season pass ranks. So yeah, I guess season pass related, like particular ranks and stuff. So yeah, I guess this is the UI for season pass. You can see, I don't even know what all this is. All this looks so foreign to me. Since I've only played the first Destiny. I've yet to dip into Destiny 2, but now with the cross progression, I'm definitely going to give it a shot now. And considering all the improvements they made and stuff like that too. So, interesting. So yeah, a couple like exotic weapons and stuff. That's gonna be very tempting. That's gonna be very tempting. Let's see. Let me check. Every season Destiny 2 will change. I'll believe that when I see it. I don't know that terminology seems to be very direct and like not definitive, but you know what I mean. So, but in general, I believe in here they said that yeah. Let's see, I think the price tag. Version Destiny will be New Light. And on top of that, Destiny 2 Year 1 will be available free with New Light. We're going to make sure there's plenty of new free content in Season Undying. There's will it come New Light or All in Shadowkeeper Season Undying? Okay. Yeah, so technically you'll definitely be able to get in for free at least. That's at least the impression I'm getting. That's cool. That's actually a pretty wise choice for Destiny, because what Destiny feels like it's in this weird purgatory kind of. Is like you kind of either love it or hate it, I think, or that's kind of at least the impression I kind of get. I don't know. I would assume it would kind of be like that, but I could be totally wrong. But at least like, you know, from the echo chambers, it seems like that's kind of like the consensus of Destiny. Yeah, I definitely will give it a shot when it does. I technically got it. I'm curious how they handle that too. Like, if you clearly previously bought the games, do you get any benefit of buying the game in advance or whatever before going to free to play? I would assume so. Probably maybe something very, very not worth it. Like, here you go. Here's a blue engram. Probably like common gun. I don't want no common shotgun. Don't give me that BS. What's wrong with you? Get out of here, Destiny. I'm tired of you. Oh yeah, also switching into unrelated news somewhat. D23 is basically, I guess, Disney's big huge expo in terms of, you know, Disney news, especially with their upcoming Disney Plus that's just gonna try to demolish Netflix and all streaming services apparently. There were some interesting factoids in particular that caught my attention the most. There was the return of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So Ewan McGregor, who was previously Obi-Wan Kenobi in the prequels, will be reprising his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a Disney Plus series, I believe. Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi series from Lucasfilm for Disney. Elizabeth McGuire. I don't even watch Elizabeth McGuire. I could see the fan reception though. Also, Kevin Feige with some news, of course, with Marvel. I think he announced some new stuff coming to Disney Plus. Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, and She-Hulk are going to be series, I think, on Disney Plus. Particular Black Panther 2. They had to reveal it at some point. So Black Panther 2 is set to release May 6, 2022. That's around my birthday, so I'm loving that already. And then Ryan Coogler, the previous director for Black Panther, I think he directed Creed as well, will be reprising his role as director, so that is good to know too, because he definitely knocked it out of the park with the previous one. And I didn't know that. The only Marvel Studios film nominated for an Oscar. That's crazy. They definitely had to bring him back. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty dang cool. Outside of that, that's pretty much the only things that really stood out to me personally. Oh yeah, and I think kind of in line with Marvel news from last episode. Apparently, what's his name? What is his name? Apparently, what is the dude's name? Apparently, Who am I thinking of? Oh, Tom Holland. I did the same thing last episode. Tom Holland. I guess he did confirm with Feige that he's no longer in the MCU. So it's like, just put the nail in the coffin, because it was somewhat in the air. Oh yeah, no, they're gonna get him back at some point. Oh yeah, but they just shut that stuff down. They're like, no. Unfortunately, yeah. I think I heard somebody made a memorial for Tom Holland in the front of the entrance of D23. So they got like a frame of Tom Holland and some flowers and stuff. That was funny to me. Oh man. R.I.P. Tom Holland, man. You ain't dead, but I mean you dead from the MCU. But I want you to be back in some way, hopefully. Sad. Either way, that's pretty much all the relevant news for this week. So I guess we'll get into some what I've been doing technically. Gaming wise, man, it's been all a blur really. In particular, of course, I already talked about briefly play control. I'm very early in the game. I'd say maybe 3-4 hours. Starting off, I was a little off put, but now it seems like the game is starting to pick up now. I've kind of gotten to that point like, oh, okay, all right, control, all right. So not to, I guess, spoil too. It's very early in the game, so it's not really spoilery, but basically, you know, I was just shooting people, and it was like, okay, but I'm like, it needs some expansion. I knew it was some aspects that was going to happen, but in particular, I was able to get start using telekinesis, and that felt so great, because I was starting to wane on, like, this is not churning out to be great, man. Sure enough, got that telekinesis, boy, that just like changed the game literally, and like it's way more engaging now. So very interested to see how that plays out. Finished Earth Defense Force, at least the single player mode. There's a lot of extra stuff, but I don't really see myself getting back into it for now. I'll probably eventually play 5 and Iron Rain, I believe. So at some point I'll play those. What else? I feel like it was something else I was playing. Oh, I was playing a lot of Call of Duty actually. I was trying to win a battle royale match, which I've still freaking yet to do. Out of all the battle royale games, I've yet to win one. That is at least my goal before I go. Is to win at least one battle royale match. So we'll see how that plays out. But other than that, is that pretty much all I've been up to? I think so. Trying to remember if there's anything else in particular I was playing. No, that's pretty much it. I'm looking forward to Astral Chain. That comes out came out tonight. But I'll probably end up getting into that tomorrow. Maybe I'll try to finish Control. I'm not sure how long the game is, but we'll see. Fortunately, Labor Day weekend, woo, so extra time, because boy is it scarce. It is very scarce. And unrelated news, or not news, but other stuff I've been catching, man, let me tell you about this Dave Chappelle special, man. If you have not seen it, Sticks and Stones on Netflix. Boy, is that great, man. Ugh. Dave Chappelle, man. The dude can do no wrong, I swear. He is just comedic gold, man. He be going there, which is just the shock value is funny in of itself as well. But, oh, man. Yeah, I highly recommend watching this special. He touched on a lot of great aspects. And, yeah, in general, Thoroughly enjoyed it. I was freaking rolling the whole freaking night, man. I really was. Ugh, so great. Outside of that, still keeping up with Orange is the New Black. I think I'm on episode 5. So I'm still trudging through. So I hopefully plan to try to get all that through this weekend. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, pretty much outside of that, pretty much all I've been up to, man. So yeah. Outside of that, I guess that will do it for episode 20. Switches sites. Some housekeeping, of course. You can follow me on Twitter at aswitch, where I'm just being an ignorant nigga. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I got some realness in there. I keep saying that, but it's true. It's true. Okay. Believe me. You can also catch me on Twitch TV /aswitch, where I'm streaming this live or have streamed it live. If you catch this post live, post live, that's the term. You can also catch me on youtube.com/aswitch, where again, I keep telling y'all, wait on it. All right. I'm gonna come back, start uploading videos in my immense backlog of Let's Plays and stuff. Okay. Just bear with me, please. Also, if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast, God, can I speak? Your favorite podcast platforms, which would be Spotify, Google Podcast, and Apple Podcasts, and soon YouTube at some point. Wait on it. Yeah, feel free to like, subscribe, rate. I know it's very different for each platform, but you get what I'm saying. Please support if you are listening to this podcast on a somewhat regular basis. Appreciate it. Appreciate you so much. You can also check out my website, which is aswitch.net as well. Plan to at some point spruce that up, but I'm pretty satisfied, at least at the state it is in now. And yeah, I think that is it. But of course, thanks for watching or listening, and until next time, guys. Oh yeah. I don't know why I did the gag at the end. I didn't need it, but you're welcome.